Good afternoon. My name is Beverly Hawks, and I'm the incumbent running for the first council seat. I'd like to take this afternoon to answer a few questions and hopefully satisfy your curiosity as far as my leadership in the council arena goes. I hope all are doing well during this pandemic and stay healthy and please practice precautions.
Why do you want to run for council? And if elected, what would you like to contribute or be known for? What leadership experience do you have working with committees and boards, etc.?
I am seeking re-election in tribal council. I feel that it's important as one of the women in the tribe that we as women take a stand and that we start taking our roles in leadership seriously. I have been in my position for the past 3 years. I've constantly been a community advocate most of the time since Frank Parker lit a fire under me when I was 25. Gone to him with an issue in regards to our preschool program. And ever since then, I've taken an interest in tribal council. Since I've been on tribal council, it's put me on a different floor and a different format. I can see the importance of our people getting an education, of networking with the other governments. I really see a need to fill the vacancy of another lobbyist where Jim Peters used to be. I hope to bring a legacy of leadership through women, but also through caring. Women and men are wired differently. And I trust that a lot of my constituents have their strengths. My strength is my passion and my love for my community. I'd like to bring the social network so there's a little bit more balance between the economics and the social network. And I think that's about it on those two subjects.
What successful strategies would you develop to empower our people? How would you balance the tribe's business interests with cultural identity?
I feel it's important for us not to forget where we have come from and to practice our heritage through the culture and the ceremonies and the traditions that have been passed down before us. I feel as on tribal council it's important to explore other options for business. We have been very successful with our KTP for decades. For the longest time, our oyster company was in the red, but it's been in the black for a number of years now. I feel like we need to look forward to when the casino days are ending and what kind of an economic engine are we going to look towards. I've explored options of developing hemp because of the many products that we can get from that. I've also went along with data because data is going to become a valuable commodity, and that's something I'm researching on. I also like to collaborate with a fellow council member, Jer, in that solar is an option for us to look at for our new homes, for our buildings, and all of those structures. We need to look outside the box. We need to think about moving forward and moving with the times. And I hope to bring some of my ideas and my influence in this manner.
To ensure tribal council makes decisions with generations ahead in mind, what changes would you propose?
One more time.
To ensure tribal council makes decisions with the generations ahead in mind, what changes would you make or propose?
I think the most thing that we can do is empower our general body to lift our teen council up, to bring them in more arenas. I got on tribal council, and there's two groups that we participate a lot in. One of them is ATNI, the other one is NCAI, and both of those have opportunities for teen councils and youth groups to go to. I'd like to see our council lift our people up and take our young people there more. I also think that we really need to encourage and continue to offer classes through legal for people to learn more about their government, to understand why we're binded by the Constitution, how sometimes our hands are just tied, and we have these policies and procedures that are in place for a reason because we need the checks and the balances to ensure that for transparency. I can assure you, the last councils that I've sat on, we're very transparent. You know, the minutes are always offered and available and hanging up in the hallway of the administration. I encourage everyone to read those. And when you read those and you look at your council people, ask them, how did you come to that decision? I'd like to know why you made that decision, whether you're for the decision or against the decision. I really do feel like we need to have more people participate in our government. We are getting bigger, we are getting stronger, and we have a lot more business development endeavors. And it's important for people to get themselves on the committees, on the boards, on the commissions. Get your leg in the door and start planning for the future with your tribe, right along with tribal council. Those are the changes I would like to see.
How do we make our leaders more accountable, and what, in your opinion, would create more transparency?
I think to make leaders more accountable is to hold them accountable. When you hear things that are being amiss or you're unhappy about a decision that leadership has made, let your voice be spoken. You know, Vicky Kruger and I often laugh about being noisy tribal members. We could hear people, they're getting up again. I wonder what they're going to complain about, or wonder what they're going to get their loud voices about. And you know, after we got a little older and more seasoned, we thought about the delivery, and instead of being adversary, we start speaking from our heart, and that's what I continue to do. Is just share my passion with you, and to let you know that I'm here to serve you. I tell people, my bosses are you. The general body is who I work for. I work for every single one of the Squaxin Island tribal members. You guys hold me accountable by questioning what I'm doing, how I'm proceeding, my methods of madness, and how I carry myself, because I am a reflection upon each and every one of our tribal members. And I want you to know that you are always welcome to stop by and ask me questions. And I really want to encourage people to question your leaders, to sit in on council meetings. I really do miss Glenn Parker. He always put us in check and wasn't afraid to pipe up and question some of the things and where the discussion was going. So I really do want to encourage everyone to follow in those footsteps and do those same things.
What would you do to prepare the tribe for future disasters such as the pandemic or an earthquake?
I would continue to monitor the program that John Taylor has. You know, we've made a few changes with him, and since John has moved to CDC, he has done a wonderful job in preparing us for this COVID epidemic that we have going on right now. He's put in place a lot of the steps. The only way that I can see for us to improve upon disasters that are coming in the future is to have more community involvement, to have leadership become more involved in those programs as well, for all of us to work together and to look for the answers that we need. But I really do feel like we have a person in place for emergency headquarters, that we do have a person that thinks about our community and about the government and the strong ties and the needs and the importance of having policies and procedures, of having these planning sessions where everyone's practicing. So when we do have a disaster or we do have an emergency, we're not all scrambling. We're all not all nervous. We all already know our place. We know what our position is, where our post is, and what our jobs is. So I just think all of us working together as a community in those times of need would benefit each and every one of us.
Is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you want the tribal community to know?
I think it's important, as someone being on tribal council, to be open and honest and to always answer questions. I also just would like to share with you guys, you know, you hear so many people talking about 7 generations. I've always felt that I'm rich in family, that I'm rich in heritage and culture because of my parents and my grandparents and my siblings and my large, huge extended family. I have family here at Squaxin. I also have ties to the Yakima and the Puyallup community. And I just want everyone to know that my philosophy on being on tribal council is the same as my grandpa Mike Price's. He used to say that when they made decisions, he would think about the seven generations. That you have to think about what your great grandparents have left you, what your grandparents have left you, and what your parents have left you, because those are the first three generations. You're the fourth generation, and you're here on earth, and you're living in the present. And what you need to be thinking about is right now. But you also need to be looking forward. I need to be looking forward for my community to think about, what am I going to leave the generation of my children? What am I going to leave the generation and the impacts for my grandchildren? And what kind of a future am I going to leave for my great grandchildren? So I would just like you guys to know that when I make decisions for myself and for the tribe, that I think about these things. There was one decision that came up to us, and it was about enrollment. I was one of those council people that voted that said, this is too huge for me to carry this on my shoulder. I really do feel like we need to engage the general body on this decision. This decision impacts each and every one of our tribal members' lives. It impacts their future, it impacts their children's future. This is something we need to consult with them on. These are the types of decisions I make, and this is why I make them. I just hope that you consider all the answers that I have, and I look forward to the up and coming election. Please stay safe and healthy, and thank you very much. Boyd?